Hi guys, here we are going to talk about the information securities laws and the standards. Now, over here, previously we have discussed about your risk management, we have discussed about incident management, and here we will be discussing about the laws and the standard, and we will be talking about the security assessment. Right? Like over here in your organization, what we have to do is we need to protect our data, right? As well as we have to make sure all the critical information we are having in your organization that is safe and sound. Now, the organization, what they will be doing is if they want to ensure that everything is safe and sound, then they have to follow these laws and the standard. By doing that, they will be able to protect their customer trust we are having, they will be able to avoid the hefty fines penalties we are having, and they will be able to ensure that they are in a proper manner, they are handling our data. So for that, here we are having some major regulations that are getting followed. So on top of it, we are having the PCI DSS, which stands for the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, right? So over here, when we are talking about this PCI DSS, the PCI DSS is a standard we are having that will be helping us to make sure that all the entities who are involved in the financial payments, right, whether they are related with the merchants, the bank, the service provider, who are handling our card payments, they have to make sure they are able to protect our or their customers' payment card data, whether we are talking about the credit card or the debit card. So for that, they have to make sure whenever the card holder's data it will be transmitting from one location to another, it should be moving in a secure encrypted manner, as well as they have to make sure they're testing the security system and they are also they're also putting the restriction on the access to your sensitive card data. For example, like whenever we are trying to purchase anything, right, from the online stores, like by using the Visa card, MasterCards. So all those entities, what they will be doing is they are going to follow the PCI DSS to ensure that they are securely processing the payment. Then after that, we are having as the HIPAA, which stands for the Health Insurance Portability and the Accountability Act, that is going to help to protect the patient's medical and their health information data. That is we call as the PHI, the Protected Health Information. And it is going to be followed by all the entities like we are having hospitals, clinics, insurance companies, as well as their service provider, right? Like whenever they will be storing the patient data, they have to make sure they're storing it in a secure manner. They are making sure that only the authorized medical staffs should be able to access that particular data, and they have to encrypt that particular record whenever they are performing the digital transfers over there. Then after that, we are having the GALVA, that stands for your Gramm-Leach-Blay Act, right? So the GALBA is an act we are having that will be helping us to protect the consumer's financial data, right? Like over here, any entity, any bank, insurance firm, any financial institutions, if they are storing the customer's data, they have to make sure that however their data is getting collected, it is getting used, it is getting stored and processed. They have to make sure they are ensuring the confidentiality, the integrity, the availability, and the authenticity of that particular data. That is what we are having the Galba. Then after that, we are having your SOX, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, that is going to help the consumers to prevent the corporate fraud, right? It will be helping us to ensure that the organizations are providing us the accurate financial reporting. So over here, any public companies who are present in the US have to make sure they are following it. They have to make sure with the company they are maintaining the transparent accounting records, as well as they are making sure like the CEOs and the CFOs are going to be personally responsible for the accuracy and the security of that particular data we are having. Then after that, we are having the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation that is getting followed in the European regions. So over here, this GDPR, it is going to help the European citizens, right, to protect their personal data, right? So any organization who are handling the European citizens' data worldwide, they have to make sure, they have to make sure if that particular person, if that particular organization, right, they're storing the data and the person is asking them that delete their data, right, correct their data, as well as if you want to access this data, then the organization, they have to do it, right? Even the organization, they will be requiring a clear consent from that particular individual before collecting his personal data. And if they're not able to follow the GDPR, they have to pay a big amount of fine. Then after that, we are having the DPA, the Data Protection Act, that is getting followed in your UK, right? So it is the data we are having that is quite similar to your GDPR, right? So the organization who are collecting or processing the personal data in your UK, what they have to do is they have to make sure that they are transparently processing the data in a lawful, in a fair manner. Then after that, we are having a FISMA, which stands for the Federal Information Security Management Act that is getting followed in the US, which will be helping the US government information and the systems, right? Like the federal agencies, the contractors who are handling the government data, they have to make sure they're performing the regular risk assessment, they're implementing all the information security programs, as well as they're able to monitor and respond against the cybersecurity incidents that are happening. Then, after that, we are having the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that is also getting followed in the US, that is going to protect the digital content, the copyrights, right? Means that it will be helping the people or the organization from illegal copying, distribution of the digital works, like the movies, music, softwares, and many more. Then over here in India, like at your 2023, we got your DPDP, right? That stands for the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, right? That is a new law which we are having in India for protecting the personal digital data. So any organization for handling the Indian citizens' personal data, they have to follow it. Means that the organization they have to first they will be requiring to ask the consent before processing any personal data, as well as the people, the Indians, right? The Indian citizens, they can also demand for the correction or the deletion of the data. If they're not able to follow it, then they have to pay a huge penalty, right? Like we are having the e-commerce application. So they have to first ask a user, right? They will be first trying to get the user consent before sharing their data, right? So with the help of all these different regulations, we will be able to protect the sensitive data, whether we are talking about the financial, health, or the personal data in the organization. Right. Now, over here, all these laws and the standards, they are related with the different geographical reasons we are having. Right. But what they will be doing is, therefore, the principles are all about to protect the sensitive data from misuse, to provide the transparency and the accountability, as well as to provide the individuals to get a control over their information. Now, to make sure that our organization they are able to follow all these compliances, all these laws, standard, and the regulation, and the organization we are performing something known as your security assessment. Now, over here in the security assessment, what we will be doing is we will be going ahead, we will be trying to protect our systems, our data. right? But we have to also test them, like how strong those defenses are. So, with the help of the security assessment, we will be able to find out those weaknesses before the attackers will be able to find. So, for that, we are having the main types of assessments, like we are having the very first one as the security audit. Now, in this audit, we will be going ahead and we will be trying to review our organization security policies, the security control, and the procedure. With the help of that, we will be able to make sure that our organization they are following the security practices that are aligned with our internal policies, the standard, the regulations we are having over there. Right. So for that, we can go ahead, we can review the access control, the firewalls, the log, we will be checking, we will be identifying the gap we are having in the security policies, as well as we can try to check the compliances that are related with the laws and the standard. Then after that, we will be going one step ahead. That is, we are having as the vulnerability assessment. In this vulnerability assessment, we will be trying to scan the systems, the network, the devices, so that we will be able to identify, we will be able to detect the known weakness or the vulnerability we are having, such as the misconfiguration, the outdated software, the weak passwords, and many more. Then, after that, we will be moving one more step ahead in that we are having as the penetration testing. And this penetration testing, in short, we are also calling as the pen testing or the pen test. Now, the pen testing is going one more step ahead of your vulnerability assessment, in which we will be trying to find the information about the vulnerabilities, but by simulating the cyber attack on those systems to identify, to find out how the attackers they can exploit those weakness, right? In this vulnerability assessment, we were just only finding the weakness, but in this penetration testing, we will be checking like how those weaknesses can be exploited in the real time scenario. Now, for performing this penetration testing, we got the three strategies like the black box penetration testing, the white box penetration testing, and the gray box penetration testing. And the black box penetration testing, our pen testers, they won't be getting any type of information from the organization regarding those systems. Means that they have to start the steps from the footprinting. They will be first trying to collect the information about the victim, then they will be trying to plan their attack, then they will be launching, right? In the white box penetration testing, the organization they are going to provide the full information about the system in which the penetration testing will be carried on. So over here in this previous step as the white box penetration testing, our penetration tester they can skip the footprinting step and they can start from your scanning itself. Then in this gray box penetration testing, our penetration testers, they will be getting the partial information about the systems in which they will be trying to perform the penetration testing. So this gray box testing, it will be sitting in between of the black box and the white box. Right now, with the help of these three, our organization or our penetration testers, they will be able to collect the thorough information about the weakness and then our organization, on the basis of those identified weakness, they can go ahead and they will be able to better utilize, they will be able to better employ the security solutions to protect your organization's resources. So, guys, these are the things which we were having in the module number one. Now, in our next session, we will be starting with the module number two. That is, we are having is the footprinting and the reconnaissance.